I just wanted to give you a short introduction. I mentioned a few of these things in class, but I think it's worthwhile repeating them now about the hybrid nature of the course. And by a hybrid, remember, a hybrid is a combination of things. It's a combination of in-class and online sessions. A few of you are concerned because this is kind of new to you, or even if it's not new, it's really changing the way your education has been conducted, or education in general has been conducted since you got started in school quite a few years ago. At this point, for just about everybody, it's at least 12 years since you first entered a classroom. The idea behind this, and the idea that I'm following, was something invented by a gentleman named Khan, and you might have heard about Khan Academy, which started out as online tutorials that a guy was producing. He was a hedge fund manager, I believe, in Boston, and had cousins out in California who needed some tutoring, and he decided to tutor them over the internet. And what he did is he started producing videos for them, explaining them about the math that they were studying, helping them get the concepts. And when he put the videos that he made up on the internet, all of a sudden he discovered that a lot of other people were interested in it. And the strangest thing that he discovered was that his cousins preferred learning the things from the video than getting it directly from their cousin, live over the telephone, with some assistance. And it developed he's refined this, and it developed a whole new way of delivering education. And it's a model really I'm going to follow. It's also something called the flipped classroom. The reason it's called the flipped classroom is normally you go into the classroom and the teacher tells you things, lectures to you, teaches you things, and you go home and you do work at home that helps reinforce what you've learned in class and helps clarify what you've learned in class. Well, by flipping it, what we're now doing is I'm going to give you lectures online, and when we come into class, depending on the nature of the hybrid, some of you that will be seeing this are taking a course with me that meets for an hour a week and 2 hours online. Some of you meet 2 hours a week, 1 hour online. So it's going to vary a little bit, but the idea is for the people on the 2 hours online, I will give you these lectures online. You can listen to them. The great thing is you can listen to them at your own pace. If I'm going too fast, you can stop the video, rewind, go slower. You can take notes. If you're moving okay, you can just continue. If you want to come back to it at a later date, you can actually make note of where this particular point was, because, by the way, I should mention, you probably will want to take notes while I'm giving the lecture. You will have my lecture notes, the slides that I use. You will have the videos, but nothing substitutes for you actually sitting down and writing it, because many people, most of you probably, learn a little bit by actually touching the pencil, touching the keyboard, and writing stuff down. So it's a good idea for you to continue to do that. Now, as I mentioned, the way it's going to proceed is I will record some lectures, and I will put this into learning modules on Blackboard for us. And I will probably break down the various lectures into between 5 and 10 minute segments. Occasionally I might go up to 12 minutes. And I'm doing this to give it to you in digestible chunks. In addition to which, I will give you exercises, an assignment afterwards, to sit down, answer some questions, and make sure you understand what's going on. Because sometimes, I know it happens to me, and I wouldn't be surprised if it happens to you. I hear something, I'm sure at the time I understand it, and then when I go away from whoever it was that was giving me these instructions and I try to actually follow the instructions, do what the person told me, all of a sudden I realize that I really didn't quite have the understanding that I thought I had. So I think it's going to be a great educational experience. I think the great thing is that you're not restricted to learning in the classroom, And it's kind of like you'll have me at home giving the lectures, or wherever it is that you have access to a computer, work in the school library, in one of the school computer centers, but you do it at your own pace. If you have a problem, you're not stuck in a classroom for that hour. You can pick up a 5-minute segment, take your notes, move on. You're losing concentration, you're tired. You can come back to it at your convenience. Obviously, it's not a good idea to think about putting this off, because we still have the regular number of weeks in the semester in which we have to cover the material, or in which we will cover the material, and eventually you will be tested. And as I was saying before, I am going to give you exercises that you should do along with this. Sometimes it'll be a couple of multiple choice questions, dealing with some of the concepts, dealing with some of the ideas, dealing with maybe even writing. In addition, might be writing a little bit of a couple of sentences, a couple of paragraphs to explain some of the material that's been presented. So with that, sit back in your seats. Actually, don't fall asleep, and we'll get started in a second. One little note: I got to apologize for the headphones, but this is really the best microphone that I have, and I want to make sure everybody will be able to hear these lectures.